The Prime Minister is on his way back to Ottawa this hour. He was scheduled to deliver an apology in Iqaluit today, but a severe winter storm forced his plane to divert to Goose Bay, Newfoundland and Labrador. The apology has been in the works for nearly 2 years. It is for Ottawa's treatment of Inuit during tuberculosis outbreaks in the 1950s and 60s. The CBC's Pauline Pemick joins us now from Iqaluit. What happened there today?
Hi, Katie. Well, a lot of people showed up and waited, and the weather just wouldn't get better. In fact, it got worse. So they had to postpone the event. The Prime Minister did try to arrive here, like you said earlier, and just decided to go back to Ottawa. So from our understanding and from our latest update is that we hope and try again tomorrow. What happened today was, people were there. They were dressed in their traditional clothing and regalia and just anxious to get started and to hear and to be a part of an historical event. But as the weather, controls a lot of what we can do here, it wouldn't get better, and it kept blowing, and, it's not something we have control over, so it was postponed. But we were able to talk to people and hear more about what they felt, and the feeling around it was, people are patient and they're looking forward to being a part of this, but they're also being very patient.
Can you describe sort of the anticipation around this event? How big a deal is this?
It's huge. I mean, people were taken away from home, their families, and sent to what would be a foreign country to them and left there. Most of them never coming home. The ones that did came home with traumatic experiences that a lot of them couldn't or didn't have the means to recover from. The healthcare system, if you can imagine, back in the 40s, 50s, 60s on, mental health issues, these kind of conversations we have today weren't even a thought. So it's huge. There's so many people impacted by this, and we're feeling the effects today. Today, it still affects us. So even though we're saying 50 years ago, 40s and 50s and 60s, it's still around Nunavut, it's still around regions with Inuit, Inuit, Indigenous people in Manitoba. Like, it's huge. And part of the reason why I think Inuit specifically felt this was important, because there were some people who thought, meh, another apology from the Prime Minister, now what? But there are people that say, this means something to me. He's the leader of our country. He's the leader of a system that did injustice to these people when they needed help. They took their children, they took mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, and now we're still looking for them today. So I think that's huge, and I think that the people waiting for the apology are, feeling acknowledged. People hear their stories, people know what they went through, and that means a lot to people, for others to know, and that you're not the only one, so that you can heal and begin a process, and also show an example not to do this again. This didn't work, don't do it again. And Inuit want people to learn from it, and they want to be able to find their families and get some answers.
Pauline Pemick, I want to say thank you for your time today.
Thank you, Katie.